My name is Judith Fields, and I'm 38 years old. If you had asked me 2 weeks ago what my life looked like, I would have told you I was finally standing on steady ground. I had a stable job, a small but peaceful home, and a boyfriend I believed, honestly believed, would become my husband soon. I wasn't naive. I wasn't desperate. I just trusted him, trusted us. For 5 years, I'd built a life with Mark, a man I thought was quiet, dependable, gentle. The kind who held me close after bad days and promised me that our future was something we were building brick by brick. I'd even bought a ring, a beautiful, understated sapphire one I'd planned to give him on our 6th anniversary. The 4th of July. It was symbolic. Our friends had introduced us at a 4th of July cookout years ago. My mother, an only child like I am, had kept dropping hints about grandkids, marriage, settling down. And for once, I thought I was finally close to giving her something to be excited about. But life has a way of ripping the curtain open when you least expect it. That Friday afternoon, my girls' weekend at the lake had barely begun when I realized something was missing. My damn laptop. The work I'd promised to send, the files I needed. It was all sitting on my office desk back home. I cursed under my breath, apologized to my friends, and told them I'd drive back, grab it, and return by evening. "Bring chocolate," my friend Lacey shouted as I left the cabin. "Bring wine," added Naomi. "Bring your sanity," joked Carmen. "You forget everything except the trauma." I laughed, too busy brushing them off to realize how ironic her words would become. The drive home took about 2 hours. Halfway through, I called in an order at mine and Mark's favorite Italian restaurant. Pasta, garlic bread, tiramisu, our classics. I figured I'd get home before he ate and surprise him. It wasn't our anniversary or anything special. I just liked doing small things for him. You don't need a reason to be kind when you love someone. I pulled into our driveway at exactly 5:58 p.m. Every light in the house was on. The living room, the hallway, even the kitchen. I smiled a little. Mark always left lights on when he was cooking or prepping dinner. But the second I stepped inside, something felt off. Not wrong, necessarily, just different. The air felt lighter, playful almost, like laughter had been swirling through it. Then I heard it. Laughter. Mark's laughter. Coming from the kitchen. I walked toward the sound with a smile tugging at my lips. Maybe he was talking to one of his friends. Maybe he was in a good mood. Maybe this evening would actually be nice. But then I heard the words. At first, I didn't want to believe they were real. I thought maybe I misheard, but I hadn't. "Last night was amazing," Mark was saying. His tone was proud, like he was bragging about getting a promotion. "She was so considerate. Honestly, I've never had anything like it." I froze. My feet wouldn't move. My breath refused to exist. There was a pause, and then he chuckled. Low, satisfied, too familiar. "Yeah, we met on Tinder. Took her out last night. By the time we made it through the door, we barely made it to the sofa." My vision blurred instantly. I couldn't see anything except the outline of the hallway. The smell of garlic from the food in my hands, mixed with the metallic taste of panic rising in my throat. He kept talking. "Oh God, big. Like twice as big as..." He said my name, my actual name, as if comparing me was nothing more than an inside joke. Then he added, "I'm definitely taking her for a test drive again." The bag slipped from my hands. The pasta container burst open on the floor with a splattering thud. The garlic bread scattered. The tiramisu landed upside down. That's when he turned around. The phone was still pressed to his ear, but his face drained of color the second our eyes met. He hung up so fast he didn't even say goodbye. "Jude, wait, please." He took a step toward me. I stepped back, not out of anger, not out of fear, out of disbelief. "Let me explain," he pleaded, reaching for me. The audacity, the sheer audacity. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why. I didn't even breathe. I simply moved past him, brushing off his hand like it was a stranger's touch. I went to the office, grabbed my laptop, grabbed my charger, grabbed nothing else. He blocked the doorway, arms out, eyes frantic. "Please, Judith, just listen to me." I pushed past him, harder than I expected. He stumbled back, shocked. "I'm sorry," he choked out. "It was nothing. It didn't mean anything." But that was the problem. To him, betrayal meant nothing. Without looking back, I walked out the door. For the next 4 days, I stayed at a motel 30 minutes away, just far enough for him not to find me, but close enough that I could check out if I needed to collect my belongings. I blocked his number, his social media, every contact, every point of entry. But that didn't stop him. He called my friends. He called my mom. He called my coworkers. Even the barista at my usual cafe said someone matching his description came in asking if she'd seen me. He was spiraling, and everyone kept asking, "Judith, do you want to talk to him, just to hear his side?" There was no side. I heard everything. That phone call was all the closure I needed. But closure doesn't mean healing. It doesn't mean clarity. It just means the truth is out. The nights were the worst. I cried into motel pillows. I drank cheap wine out of plastic cups. I stared at the ring I'd bought and wondered how I could have been so disastrously wrong about a man. By the fourth night, I couldn't cry anymore. Just numb and exhausted. And somewhere deep inside that numbness, one truth started to settle. This wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. For 4 days straight, I kept myself alive on motel coffee, takeout noodles, and whatever pieces of myself hadn't shattered on the kitchen floor. I didn't sleep, not really. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Mark's voice again, laughing, bragging, savoring the memory of another woman's body like it was a prize he'd earned. On the morning of day 5, I finally answered my best friend Carmen's 9th call. "Judith," she said softly, "we're coming to you. No arguments." When she and Lacey arrived, I hadn't showered, my hair was a mess, my eyes were swollen, and I looked like someone who had been hit by a metaphorical truck and dragged 3 miles. Carmen sat beside me on the motel bed without saying a word. Lacey was the one who broke the silence. "Tell us exactly what you heard." So I did, every word, every awful detail. By the time I finished, Carmen was pacing angrily, murmuring curses under her breath, and Lacey had tears in her eyes. "That coward," she said. "He bragged about cheating. Bragged. Like it's something to be proud of." I exhaled shakily. "I thought I knew him." "You did," Carmen said, "but people hide the worst parts of themselves until the right moment." I wasn't sure if that was comforting or terrifying. That night, the girls convinced me to get out of the motel room and sit at the bar downstairs. "1 drink," Carmen said, "and then we'll go back to wallowing like respectable, emotionally destroyed women." I actually laughed. It felt foreign in my chest. The bar was dimly lit, noisy, and smelled like cheap cologne and fried food. I ordered something stronger than I should have, then another, and another. By the time I was tipsy, I found myself flirting with the bartender purely out of loneliness, something incredibly out of character for me. He flirted back, politely, and I hated how much I needed the distraction. "Maybe I'm just replaceable," I muttered. "No," Carmen snapped. "He's replaceable, you aren't." But her words felt like Band-Aids on wounds so deep they touched bone. The next morning, my friend Daniel, one of the guys in our friend group, texted, "Daniel, drove by your place. His car's gone. Think he went back to work today." Opportunity. It hit me like a bolt of electricity. I threw everything into a bag, thanked Carmen and Lacey, and drove home. My hands shook the entire drive. When I unlocked the door, the first thing I noticed was the smell. Stale food, old coffee, dirty laundry. The house looked like it hadn't been cleaned since I disappeared. Dishes piled up, takeout containers littered the counter, and clothes were thrown on the couch like he'd been searching for something he'd lost. Maybe me. The thought made me nauseous. I forced myself to focus. Bag first, clothes next, toiletries, important documents. Then, the sentimental things. Our photos, my mug, the blanket he always stole, his hoodie I slept in during winter. I knew I shouldn't take it, but I did. Not because I wanted a piece of him, because I wanted to prove I didn't need his permission to take anything anymore. Packing took almost 4 hours. Cleaning took another one. I didn't even know why I cleaned. Habit? Closure? The final act of someone who loved a person who never truly existed? When I finished, I looked around at the neat space and felt absolutely nothing. No pain, no nostalgia, nothing. As I locked the door behind me, my phone buzzed. And buzzed. And buzzed. Mark. "Judith? Were you here? Please answer. Please." Mark. "I'm begging you. Talk to me." Mark. "I'm sorry. Baby, please. I'm losing my mind." Mark. "Just tell me where you are. I need to see you." Mark. "Please don't do this." I turned the phone off. My mother didn't even ask questions when I arrived. She just held me, stroked my hair, and said, "You're home. That's enough for now." It was more kindness than I'd given myself in days. We stayed like that for a long time. Later that night, the landlord called. Without Mark's signature, I couldn't be removed from the lease until it expired in October, 4 months away. "I understand," I said quietly, but inside something twisted. Even legally, he still had a hold on me. My mother squeezed my hand. "Stay as long as you need. You're not going back until you're ready." I nodded. I wasn't going back, ever. 3 days later, after dozens more unanswered messages from Mark, I finally replied. A single text. Me. We can meet. Public place. 1 hour. Bring no one. I'll bring someone with me. If you want to talk, that's the only option. He responded instantly. Mark. Yes. Anywhere, anytime. Please, Judith. I chose a bar downtown. Neutral ground. Loud enough for safety. Quiet enough for truth. My friend Daniel came with me. We were already seated when Mark walked in. His hair was messy. His eyes were red. He looked like a man who hadn't slept since the night I left. Judith, he whispered, almost breaking down right there. I didn't let him hug me. Didn't let him touch me. Didn't let him sit until I nodded at the chair across from me. He obeyed like a guilty child. Let's skip the small talk, I said, voice steady, though my heart thrashed inside my ribs. I have questions. You will answer them honestly. No excuses. He swallowed. Okay. How long has this been going on? At first, just once, he lied instantly. Try again. He shut his eyes. 2 years, he whispered. Every time you went on those girls' trips, I thought maybe you'd cheat. I don't know. It got in my head. So you cheated first, I finished coldly, and kept cheating. He said nothing. I leaned forward. Who was the woman you bragged to on the phone? His jaw tightened. He looked away. I'm not telling you. I laughed. Sharp. Humorless. You'll tell me everything but that? Why? Because it's someone I know? Silence. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it. He just stared at the floor like it might swallow him whole. I exhaled, reached into my purse, and pulled something out. The ring box. I placed it on the table. He froze. I was going to propose, I said quietly. 4th of July, at the cookout, where we first met. His breath hitched. Tears filled his eyes. Judith, please, I swear to God, I'll fix everything. I love you. I love you so much. I believe you, I said, but love isn't the issue. Respect is. He broke down, right there in the bar, sobbing into his hands. And for the first time since this nightmare started, I didn't cry with him. I stood up. This is goodbye, Mark. He grabbed my wrist, desperate, trembling. Daniel instantly stepped between us. Mark let go. I walked away without looking back. He didn't follow. He couldn't. Because for the first time he understood I wasn't coming back. The morning after I walked away from Mark in that dim, noisy bar, I woke up with a strange kind of clarity. Not peace, not yet, but a quietness I hadn't felt in weeks, a quietness that belonged to me, a quietness no one could take away again. I blocked his number, deleted his emails, muted every mutual friend who still thought talking things out was the healthy adult choice. Sometimes the healthy adult choice is closing the door before someone sets your house on fire again. For a while, silence felt like oxygen. But silence doesn't always stay quiet. 3 days later, one of the wives from our friend group, Maddie, the one who hosts the big 4th of July cookout every year, called me. Judith, she said immediately. No greeting, no small talk. Why didn't you tell me everything? I stiffened. Everything? Mark told me you two were just going through a rough patch, she said. Her tone was hard. Sharp with betrayal, just not betrayal of me. He told me he cheated once. Once. So he'd run crying to her, of all people. Of course he had. Maddie, I said quietly. Mark cheated for 2 years. Every single time I went on girls' trips. He bragged about it on the phone. I heard it with my own ears. Dead silence. Then a loud inhale. Then, he what? I had never heard Maddie angry before. She was always the soft one, the mother hen, the peacekeeper. But not today. That lying, that manipulative, oh my God, Judith, I am so sorry. I had no idea. I believed him. She cut herself off with a shaky breath. He's not coming to the 4th. Not now, not ever. Are you sure? I asked quietly. Oh, I'm positive. And if he shows up, I'll have the police escort him out. Judith, he disgusts me. There was a tightness in her voice, a protective kind of rage, like I was a sister who'd been wronged. It felt strangely comforting. Hours later, I learned the truth about the call he'd been on. Well, pieces of it. While Maddie was at my place, one of the other wives, Sarah, who barely even liked Mark but always came to our gatherings, spilled something unexpected. We used to have girls' nights at your house, she said. What? Every time you were away on your girls' trips. Maddie, me, a few others. We'd come over, drink wine, gossip, watch trash TV. Mark would go to bed early and leave us alone. Maybe he didn't want to get in the way. I blinked. So you were here while he was cheating? She winced. We never knew. He didn't act suspicious. He didn't hit on anyone. We didn't see anything. I believed her. She looked almost ill telling me. Then she added something else. You know who I think he was on the phone with? I held my breath. His ex-girlfriend, the one he said he blocked years ago. They always had unresolved tension. A coldness ran through me. I had suspected, but hearing someone else confirm it twisted something deep inside. I wasn't just betrayed, I was replaced by someone he'd supposedly let go. Some men never let go, they just hide the ghost better. Around that same time, I tried reaching out to his sister 3 times. Texts, voicemails, nothing. Not even a sorry, a how are you, or a I heard what happened. Just silence. But his mother called. I'm so sorry, Judith, she said, genuinely heartbroken. Mark told us you left, but he didn't tell us why. Is there anything we can do? Nothing, I whispered. He cheated on me for years. She inhaled sharply. God, I'm so sorry. I don't blame you for leaving. I wouldn't stay either. It wasn't comfort exactly, but it was validation. Weeks passed. Slowly, painfully, I started rebuilding myself. I stopped drinking, started eating properly again, went back to work, went on walks with my mother, stopped checking my phone expecting apologies that would never heal anything. Every day, Mark became more of a fading bruise, tender but no longer able to paralyze me. Healing wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cinematic. It didn't come with epiphanies or inspirational monologues. It was just quiet, like stitching a wound one tiny thread at a time. One evening, I sat on my mother's couch, holding the sapphire ring I'd once bought with trembling hope. The ring I'd planned to offer the man who was supposed to love me honestly. I studied it, turning it slowly under the lamp. It wasn't a symbol of failure, or humiliation, or stupidity. It was a reminder of the version of me who believed she deserved love, and still does. I closed the box gently and placed it on the table. Not as a memory of him, but as a promise to myself. A promise that the next time I sit across from someone I love, I will see them clearly. I will listen to my instincts. I will protect my heart with the same loyalty I once gave so freely. Mark didn't break me. He simply revealed that I wasn't living my life. I was living an idea of love that he was never capable of giving. And sometimes, the closure we think we need is just the confirmation that they were never who we loved.